Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Today we're going to be going over Samsung's best from 2011 to Samsung's best of 2012. And that is the Samsung Galaxy Tab Plus versus the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2. Now, first of all, let's go over just the parts. Aesthetically, obviously, you can see these are different. Whereas the Plus has kind of a nicer looking backing, I would say, but it is prone to get scratches over it a lot easier compared to the newer finish on the new Tab 2. Now, one thing you'll notice right away is actually that this, the Plus, the older model, has LED, whereas the new one does not. So that's one important thing to note for the cameras. In terms of, other than that, they're pretty comparable. On the top, you do have front-facing cameras. However, the Samsung Plus was 2 megapixels, as where the new one is going to be VGA. As well as you have the headphone port. You have a micro SD card slot on the left, and on the right you have the power button, volume buttons, and IR blaster. A couple of you have been asking me, so just letting you know, most of the cases seem like they will fit. I'm personally going to buy a case for the a Plus case for the Galaxy Tab 2 to make sure that that is correct, but it looks like the cases would fit identically. So let's turn them on and see which one's really better than the other one. Alright. Now, in terms of screen quality, they're pretty similar. However, because they do have two different operating systems, they will look a bit different. On the left, the Plus has Android 3.2, whereas on the right, it has Android 4.0. Now, one thing that I do like about 4.0 is that the text, which is called Roboto font, is going to be sharper than the standard text that comes with Honeycomb. So I definitely do like that it's going to definitely stand out more and be a bit sharper. Now, in terms of other software differences, you do have Android 4.0, which does allow you to create things like folders. And if you want to know how to create those, just feel free to ask. I did have a demonstration of how TouchWiz 4.0 works. And also Samsung's stock apps have grown. Although you still do have Samsung apps on here, as well as Media Hub, and you can download Chat On even though it doesn't come with it. Certain apps like Reader Hub and Game Hub do not come with the Plus version, so you have a little bit more of Samsung's built-in apps. As far as things like Office, Polaris Office is a newer version on the new Tab 2, which you can, doesn't seem like you can really update it from the Plus, at least not yet. So that's just going to be one kind of differentiation between the two. In terms of other software, they both move fairly similar. I would say overall the Plus moves a little bit similar, although that could be because of the animation of 4.0 TouchWiz. But overall, I would say the Plus moves a little bit quicker, which it should, just because this has a 1.2 gigahertz processor Exynos, whereas this has a 1 gigahertz processor from, I forgot for a second, TI OMAP, which is Texas Instruments. Both of them dual core, of course, 1.2 dual core versus 1 gigahertz dual core. So that's going to be the main differentiation in terms of hardware, besides the cameras and software built in. Now, in terms of browser, it would have to go to the newer one, simply for two reasons. One, the stock browser has a really cool feature that I will do a review on, which is just that the stock browser has the ability to have a really nice feature that allows you to invert text. So say if we were to go to Google's website on both of them, you actually have the ability to make your website inverted, which what that does is it allows you to see it outside even with light directly behind you. And I've personally done this just to check it out to see if I still could see it right behind me. And it's just a really neat feature. The only tablet that has this built in is gonna be the Samsung Galaxy 2. So it's just a really nice feature to have. Oops. Really nice feature to have, just so you can see it outside in plain sunlight. No matter how bright it is, you can actually still see it. So it's just a really cool feature to have. Now, in terms of a music player, it's pretty comparable. The Plus isn't quite as loud as the Tab 2. Let's play a little song for you guys real quick. Play music. So overall, the Plus isn't going to have as strong as speakers as the 2, but it's still really comparable to it. I would say the 2 is just going to have a little bit stronger overall tones and a little bit more bass as well. Now, in terms of video playback, another thing where they're pretty comparable, it definitely would be hard to distinguish the difference between the two. In this one, let me get this one ready. And I will just use the stock video player just to make it more fair. So again, at the top we have the Plus, and at the bottom we have the Tab 2. Pretty comparable. I would say overall, darker tones seem to just show a bit better on, just as actually on the image I paused it at, just seem to show a little bit better in terms of how they both look. It just seems to stand out a little bit more. Now, one thing I do like as well is you do have this DLNA share button right here, which works with Samsung's All Share, which allows you to just simply find your wireless TV or any TV that is built to your network, and then just send the video right to there. So it's just a nice convenient add-on that they made with the new Tab 2. Now, other than that, cameras. I know this has been a big question, you know, how much worse is the camera quality now that it does not have an LED? And besides that, how does it do outside? Well, outside, for the most part, it will have overall still similar look in terms of brightness. However, the clarity, I would say, definitely just does go to the Samsung Plus in terms of clarity. However, one nice scenic mode that the Tab 2 has that the Plus doesn't is backlit. So it does look a little bit brighter because of that scenic mode that the Plus does not have. Now, in terms of low light, however, just definitely, again, it's sharper, going to be on the Plus, as where the 2 will have a little bit of a brighter look. Now, in terms of other things, just like small differences like keyboards, I do prefer the new keyboard that comes stock with the Tab 2 in comparison to the Plus. It's just a little nicer. I like to have the numbers row built into it. Now, of course, you can have different keyboards. The Samsung stock one that comes with the Plus, you can hold the button down for a longer time and it'll turn into a number. But it's just nice to have a number row overall, and still fairly easy to push. Now, in closing, what about price? Well, it's actually kind of easy, just because simply the Plus was going for $299, whereas the 2 is going for $249. So it is a lower price point, but the Plus is almost nowhere to be found, especially in stores now, just because it was discontinued for the 2's entrance. Now, you might think, well, what if I still want to get the Plus? You can generally online right now, but other than that, it's kind of hard to find. But for the $50 difference, you're not really missing much, to be honest. I would definitely give the Tab 2 the better browser, as well as just I do like the overall 4.0 experience that is on the 2 as opposed to the Plus. Now the Plus will have, you know, things like small things like Gorilla Glass, which I don't see as a big thing. I mean, I've had plenty of devices with temperamental glass and without temperamental glass, but you know, it doesn't. I've never had, you know, if it cracks, it cracks. It's not going to get around it. Other than that, though, I mean, the camera's definitely going to be better on the Plus, and a little bit faster, but not so much where you would just be unhappy with the 2. So other than that, I would honestly go with the 2 at this point, just for it being the newer tablet, and you're going to get updates, you know, whereas the Plus is expected to get the update to 4.0. After that, how much will it be updated? Probably not so much, as where if you think long term, you know, this might get the update to 5.0 sometime next year, whereas I doubt the Plus will. So I definitely generally like thinking long term, and because of that, I would recommend the Tab 2 at this point over the Plus. Now, if you guys have any other questions about, oh, what about this, what about that, absolutely feel free to ask, and I'll definitely try to get back to you as soon as I can. Alright, this has been RICKY, the Android Guy.